Hey guys, it's me, Gabriel, coming to you with that evening spark, part 7 of our video series on the characteristics of God's teachers. Part 7, generosity. We started with that trust. We moved to that honesty. We came forward with that tolerance. Then we got to that gentleness. Then you better believe joy's going to come from that gentleness. And now, and before that, we had that defenselessness. And then from that defenselessness, we get generosity. Okay, yeah. So, now, when it comes to generosity, we must figure out what that means. Because by the world's definition, generosity means giving away in the sense of giving up. You can only be generous if you have enough money, so to speak. I can be generous with my money because when I have so much, I'll just give it away. But now I can't, so sorry. The funny thing is, when those people get all that money, they don't become any more generous. It's kind of why, more money, more problems, as they say. You think, oh, I have so much more money. I have so much more money as a kid as I did, and I have so much more money than I did as a kid, and yet it seems like I got so many problems, got bills to pay and all that stuff. So it's not the external that will change our approach, the manner in which we give, but it's the change of heart. There's plenty of poor people out there who are willing to give the shirt off their back, and yet there are people who live in mansions who wouldn't even so much as give someone a nickel. So, in contrast, as a teacher of God, when it comes to generosity, it's actually giving away in order to keep. Now, that is a total reversal of what the world thinks, because it's like, what? How can you give away in order to keep? And see, I think there's a karmatic element to generosity of the spirit. And I think really that says it right there. That generosity you have of the heart is what is on the foundation of the things you give in the external. For instance, here, let me break it down to you in a way you may that make sense to you. Again, with the money dynamic, or a gift. Let's use a gift. You could give somebody a gift, and you can put a lot of money into it. But if the person hates you, for instance, or you're not well received, and it just they don't like you, or for whatever reason, that gift just a lot of times is not going to come across as good. Or for instance, if you're in company, you're with people, you could be at dinner at a really nice place, but the person's an asshole. You're going to be like, that time sucked. But you could be sitting on a bench eating a hot dog with somebody, and if he is just this jamming person, you guys are just you're just clicking. And when someone asks you about it, you'd be like, this is amazing. This was an amazing time. We got to talk about all this stuff. It's the company. It's not the external. And so, with that being the case, when it comes to generosity, it is done out of a sense of self-interest, but self-interest not as the world has come to know. Self-interest with a capital S. It's kind of like, I forgive for peace of mind, because I want to express myself with my brother. I want to see that, because remember, you give but unto yourself, in correlation to that of the golden rule. And so, when it comes to what we have in this world, I'm starting to look at things more in a light of what I have. I don't want anything I can't be willing to give away, or not be willing to give away, but not to pretty much. I don't want anything I can't give away, because you start to realize the valuelessness of it. Because, for instance, time's a valuable thing, but a lot, if you feel those people who like, I don't have any time, so sorry. They're very selfish with their time. Now, this isn't to say, I ain't saying just say yes to everything, because you gotta learn to say no to things. But you gotta wonder, why are you saying no? Is it out of the fact that, oh, you come at it from one, maybe a sense of deprivation. You think, I never have enough time. It's amazing how you can make time for the things you really want. It's more of a matter of, is that thing a priority? And that's another thing. Does the person which is trying to have time with you, asking, hey, you want to hang out? Or something like that. Do you think that they are less than you? Do you think I'm better than this person? I don't get to hang out with them. And I've had to keep myself in check with that. And that's a whole nother topic for another time. But I think let's take a little walk to our spirit grid. So, the recognition of having is the willingness for giving. And only by this willingness can you recognize what you have. And from your grandeur, you can only bless, because your grandeur is your abundance. So what that means is that if you think you don't have any time, even if you do have time, you're not going to give it. There's plenty of rich people who think, I don't have enough money. And so they're very stingy. And yet, there's a lot of like I've said before, there's a lot of poor people. There's some poor people out there too, who will be willing to give you the shirt off the back, and that's all they got. Jesus' apostles asked him, who is the greatest among us as the apostles? How do we become the greatest? And he said, be as servants. The greatest of you will be those who are the least, who are as the least. That servant leadership, that giving of yourself. You want to be a great leader? Be a follower. Because by it, people will recognize, damn, this guy's willing to put in the time for me. I want to put in the time for him. It all just goes back to that, man. It's like, here's the thing. Be generous, not necessarily with the externals, but be generous with the sense of love, of the things of God, of truth, of forgiveness, of non-judgmentalism. I tell you, when I'm like, do I want to hang on to this? Or do I want to be able to let it go? Because here's the thing, you share what you give. So if you give deprivation by your lack of giving, your sense that I don't have enough, or you strive after with a sense of deprivation, then you're not recognizing the abundance of what you are, that wholeness of who you are. For me, it's helped me, for instance, have a better recognition of women, because you got the fellas out there and the women. Hey, we all in it. You got people. I'm saying fellas because that's who I am. You get the fellas. They look at women, they objectify them in such a way to where they're just a body. I was talking to a friend of mine. He talked about how he had friends who they looked at women as, I got 7 bodies. That means they've had sex with 7 women. Women become nothing more than trophies, like a hunter, kind of thing. And to me, they may think, oh, I'm hot stuff because I'm, banging all these chicks. Sorry if that comes across as vulgar, but I'm speaking in the manner for which those fellows may speak to that extent to be able to illustrate the realism of it all. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is that, you got these guys and they think that they're hot stuff, but really what they're doing is they're looking at it from a point of deprivation. I will never be enough kind of thing. And then they keep looking after it, keep looking, and they keep striving after it. But I've realized it's like, when you recognize your abundance and your fullness, you realize I don't have to just seek after a woman for who she is as a body. I can appreciate and love her for who they are just as a person. And your relationships transcend the limited borders and boundaries of, oh, this just has to be a romantic relationship. Oh, I'm just trying to have sex with this person. No, it goes beyond that into a much more beautiful and holy relationship. It's where you can express that sense of love because you recognize that abundance. And I want to give that abundance. I don't have to feel like I'm chasing it. I'm not lonely and I need I need to have someone to be complete or feel like I need someone to value me. Value yourself before you need someone else to value you, because you are already immeasurably valuable, important, and worthy beyond measure by that for what your Father has proclaimed you as holy Son of God, free and eternal and whole, forever at peace in the heart of God. That is the judgment of God that we should have upon our brother. Let me hear it now. I'm feeling that spirit right now. But that's what I'm saying, friends. You don't have to feel like you're second best. You don't have to feel like you're not good enough. And how this all relates to generosity is because by the measure of that sense of worth and wholeness, you will give in a different way. Because you think, okay, I don't want to go in this way that makes it a very much so isolating, exclusive sense of relationship. I can only have this person and that's it. But rather you expand your horizons to even higher realms of thought to be able to see the fuller capacity from that sense of abundance and grandeur. You are able to then see that on your brother and realize that there's more to the relationship than whether or not you guys can have a sexual relationship, but rather that you can express and appreciate and just relish in the spirituality of each other. I ain't saying that other stuff doesn't happen, but you make this the foundation, and it will, if anything, make that other stuff far more beautiful because of what it rests on. I think that's the real key thing. Having the things of this world rest on the things of the Spirit. And that's the thing of the abundance. It's not necessarily, oh, you've got to give you 10%, and that's the spirit of it all. No, if ever you do the tithing, let it be out of that spirit of joy and that sense of abundance. But that's also another time. That's another story. That's another topic for another time. It's more about whatever it may be. Give what you give out of a sense of abundance. That, man, I've got what I need. I'm deprived of nothing. So you're not seeking out. You're not trying to constantly chase after that dream, but you're rather allowing the love of who you are to be expanded. You're expanding the love that's already within each and every one of us. And your life will change from that. And that's really amazing that we can go forward in that way and really see the fullness and magnitude of what we have before us. Okay, it's going late, and I'll let myself end it here, or else I'll be going for a minute. It's toasty in here. But yeah, so my friends, go forward into that sense of spiritual generosity, giving forgiveness, kindness, peace, joy, love. And recognizing that you can give that out of the abundance, and you don't have to chase it or feel like you have to have someone else proclaim your worth for you. And that you can, yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I got anything else. Yeah, and from that abundance, you can realize that you are whole, that you are at peace, and that you are one with God. Okay, so if you're at the Wolfpack, surely wish you well, and stay tuned for tomorrow's next part about patience. So, have some patience, and we'll see you next time. Peace, friends.